So we have a new executive instrument, that's 164, backing that directive by the president. Let me bring you portions of it. So it says that now therefore in exercise of the power conferred on the president under subsection 1 of the section 2 of Imposition of Restrictions Act 2020, this instrument is made this day 14th of June 2020, wearing of face covering. 1. A person shall wear a face mask, face shield or any other face covering that covers his or her nose and mouth completely when that person is A, in a public space, or B, leaving or returning to his or her place of abode. Duration, so that's the duration on wearing. It says subject to paragraph 5, the mandatory wearing of the face covering under paragraph 1 shall be for a period of no more than 3 months. Geographical areas. This instrument applies to the entire territory of Ghana, and as far as enforcement is concerned, the police may undertake random checks to ensure enforcement and compliance to paragraph 1, and a person who fails to comply with paragraph 1 shall be subject to the sanctions specified under section 6 of the imposition. Let's go on to the phone lines now. We're joined by private legal practitioner Samson Lardy Anyenini. Thank you very much for your time here on JoyNews Prime, sir. I'm reading this and it sounds like I don't have an option the minute I step out of my house not to wear a face mask. Is that observation correct?
Correct. This is a law you would call a general provision for general application. So it is a one specific issue law in that it applies to face masks and the compulsory or mandatory wearing of same. So you have to have a face mask, or you have to have what is the law calls a face shield, or another face covering. But the instruction is this: it must cover your nose and your mouth completely. It must cover nose and mouth completely. So it's either you are using a face mask or a face shield or any face covering, but the rule is it must cover completely. And when are you to use it? When you are in a public place, or when you are leaving or returning to your place of abode. So this is a one issue specific law, general and of general application to catch everybody. And as we already know, Parliament by Act 1012/2020, the Imposition of Restrictions Act, empowered the President from time to time to issue these directives, and these directives that are issued under an EI have the force of law, and they are punished under the Imposition of Restrictions Act. Therefore, if you are found to be violating or not complying with it, you risk suffering a minimum of 12,000 Ghana cedis fine when you are taken to court, or between 12,000 and 60,000 Ghana cedis. So it can be any amount from 12,000, but not less than 12,000 and not more than 60,000. In addition, you could risk a judge, depending on the gravity of your non-compliance or violation, could decide, as the law requires, that aside the monetary sanction, you could pay the fine and go to jail in addition. Or a judge could decide that you only go to jail but don't pay a fine. Or if the fine is given and you are unable to pay, then you go to jail. If you have to go to jail, a judge cannot impose more than 4 years, less than 4 years sentence on you, and a judge cannot impose more than 10 years sentence on you. So between 4 and 10 years. That's what you're looking at to go to jail. But let's all remember, this must only happen in a court of law, not a police station. The law does not empower the enforcers to whip you with canes in the public place or anywhere. The law does not empower them to ask you to do any communal labor. Anything aside what the law instructs is lawlessness on the part of the enforcers.
Samson, thank you very much for that education here on JoyNews Prime. We do appreciate that, and I'm sure that going forward, we'll explore this further because there are other areas. I see people asking questions about what the exemptions are, for instance, but time will not allow us to do this. Thank you very much for joining us. Let's move on.